This is the Coin Chat, the most trusted voice for all things cryptocurrency. Each week, we dissect an important issue and cut through the noise and misinformation out there in the world of the blockchain, cryptocurrency, and ICOs to capture the facts that truly matter to you that will give you an edge in this fast-moving emerging market. The who, what, where, when, and how of what you need to know in crypto to get ahead so you don't get left behind. Now here's your host, financial expert and CEO of Coinvestor.io, Steve Good.
Hey everyone, this is Steve Good, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Coin Chat on YouTube and our podcast. So welcome back to all of our listeners. And of course, as normal, welcome back Yuri Cataldo, my wonderful co-host. And today, well, you are wonderful, Yuri. You know that you are.
I appreciate that.
You don't need to hear it from me to know the truth. And we're joined today by David Kam, who is the founder of the Earth Dollar. David, welcome to the channel. We've been speaking on our chat on Telegram for quite a long time. We've met a few times, and it's great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Pleasure. So, as normal, like one of the first things we love to ask our guests, and Yuri loves to ask the question, so I won't steal his thunder.
And Steve loves to preface it.
I've got to line it up. Yeah, go for it.
That's right. So, David, have you spent any Bitcoin recently or ever, honestly?
Yes, I actually in 2011 we started mining Bitcoin and spending it on developers. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Good.
Have you tried spending it in any shops? Or
No.
why would you do that? It's worth so much. You wouldn't want to do no, but we have a running thing here, so we've been trying to spend it for a while. I've actually kind of been taking a sabbatical on it because no one seems to want to take it from me. Not like I have any, because I'm going to have to ask our listeners to please supply it so I can go up and, But, I mean, it'd be nice to see more shops adopting this. But, we've got a long list of places we've tried and had a reasonably epic success at it.
Yeah.
Well, you can try if you have 15,000 Bitcoins, then you could buy a pizza, right?
That's right.
Right. Yeah, we'd love to get him on the show one of these days. We've been trying to contact him, but he's not the easiest guy to reach, but it's been going for a while. I know who he is by name and all that, but reaching him is another matter. Anyway, this is not about us. This is about you. So you have quite an interesting background. I mean, you've started the Earth Dollar, which really is a project to kind of unlock the value of assets, in particular land, but other things. But for the humanitarian nature that you're coming at this from, you started from a very different place. So just tell us a little bit about your background, having started in the world of being an engineer, and what people probably don't know about you in your quest to build a drink company. So tell us a little bit about that and how that kind of was. What was that like for you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, when I was growing up, actually, we were very poor. We came from a poor family, which is due to war, because World War II caused a lot of poverty. And my eldest brother died from starvation in China during World War II. So this is after when I found out about my parents were telling me about it, I was really affected by it. I was not the eldest son, but there was somebody older than me, but he died from starvation.
Mm-hmm.
And my father was so hungry, he tried to escape from China by swimming from China to Macau. He strapped a bicycle tire onto himself, and he swam the oceans. There's sharks there, and you die from the choices. You die from starvation in China, or you try to swim and take your chances on the open ocean.
Wow.
And lucky he escaped. So that's and then my parents came to China as refugees with nothing, and we had a little bit hard life, but they actually got enough money to put me through university. Really appreciate that, and they were able to take care of our family pretty well after that.
Fantastic. So really come from a background as a refugee family, and you've landed on your feet, and you had a successful venture with a drinks company before getting into Earth Dollar. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and kind of what that journey was like?
Yes, actually, I did have an energy drink company. We started the same time as Red Bull. There's only two energy drinks at the time, E equals MC squared and Red Bull. That was in around 1993, 1994. We started developing it, and I struck an alliance with Pepsi Cola. It took me 9 months to do it. I called them every single day for 9 months. I would get like 9 or 10 rejections every single day. They said they have 20,000 employees. I called each employee, each department trying to get the distribution, and they didn't know who I was. But after 9 months, everybody in the company knew who I was because I was calling them.
You're the guy they talk about at lunch. Did you hear from David Kam today? Yes. Did you? No. Who's David Kam? Don't worry, he'll call you next week. I'll give him your number. You know what? They probably had a joke in the canteen going about, let's just have David Kam call this guy next, and they were lining you up to call all the people they wanted to annoy.
That's about it. They didn't block the numbers or anything like that. But one line manager called me back. He said, David, we heard about you from somebody else, and that our line is 20% empty most of the time, so we're not bottling anything. So why don't if your project is still don't have anybody, we want you to come in to present to our executive team, and I can set that up for you. And so I went, and then I had a bottle of drinks with a photocopy of the drink actually. A label, and you can imagine all the executives coming in and a photocopy of a drink, and we had samples. We let them sample it. They loved it, and that allowed us to sign a multi-million-dollar contract with Pepsi. We're only the second company to ever have a product with Pepsi that they didn't own. So the other one was clearly Canadian, so we were the second one called
Wow.
Wow, okay, how interesting.
Yeah, so that's how I got the multi-million-dollar contract with them. It was persistence, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the only other person I know, the only other types of people I know, and you'll appreciate this, the only other types of people I know that can really deal with rejection are the guys that come from the pickup artist community. And Yuri and I both happen to know the artist of the game, or the author, Neil Strauss. So that's why it's sort of a funny thing, because it's not about how much rejection you get. It's about refining your techniques again and again and again. And for each rejection, you learn what that rejection did it teach you. What can you do to get better? And certainly for anyone listening to this, I mean, I can't say how important it is that, no matter what you do or pursue in life, never take no as a no. Take it as a step toward the learning process of what could you have done better or differently before you try again. Yeah. And wow, 9 months of no's, David. I mean, that's got to be how many did you actually count how many no's you got? Did you ever
what's a lot? Also,
you had the little notches on the wall, right. And I'm just imagining your office was just like notches, as if it was like a jail.
The funny story is that the Starbucks founder, he went to 99 different venture capitalists who said no to him. But he found somebody who said yes finally. So it's actually persistence that really pays off in the end for any of our projects.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Well, that's for sure. I mean, no matter what industry or what we do in life, some people have the perseverance and many people do not. And it's so true to say that it's at the point where you probably would have really gone to the next level that most people give up, because they're losing heart and they're losing energy and they don't know what to do next. And it's at the moments when it gets the hardest that most people quit, and then you didn't. So that's an amazing feat in itself, especially having come from a background with a family that had suffered and struggled, and you took those as lessons on how to survive and how to do something and to go to the next level. And I mean, applause to you for that. That's really super cool.
Yeah.
I wish more people were like that, to be honest, in this world, because that's really awesome.
it gave me a little bit of confidence in that, a lot of people say that we
A
can,
little bit, yeah.
Slightly.
Yeah.
we can overcome poverty. There's no way we can end global extreme poverty and so on. But I don't think like that, because poverty is man-made, and and it could be undo the poverty by solutions that we can provide. And
Yeah.
cryptocurrency is one of the solutions.
Yeah, so tell us about how that, undoing some of that poverty. I mean, have you got target countries that you're starting with in order to do that?
Yes, we have agreements with in Canada and Ghana
Okay.
to overcome their poverty. And if I think cryptocurrency is the most important thing people forget, is that it's generating wealth that was never there before. Is that imagine if you actually, when people doing mining and they create these coins, these wealth did not exist before. So we're generating actually new wealth and putting it into the world. So those new wealth can be used for humanitarian purposes, including ending poverty.
Got it. Hey, I apologize for the noise in the background. I'm going to mute for a bit here because I've got one hell of a lightning storm that's trying to strike all around you, David. It's just hit you because there's just no way. You're an untouchable guy that's just doing amazing things. So I'm going to mute for a minute, and you're going to just ask a few more questions about this because I don't want to disrupt the awesome flow that's going here. With so keep on going. I'm just going to hide away from the lightning and thunder and try not to get struck myself.
Right?
You said crypto, and then like the lightning came down. I thought, oh God, I hope that wasn't something wrong you said there.
Natural forces are behind it.
Yeah, natural forces of nature are backing us up on this one. So carry on, David. Please tell us a bit more.
Yeah. So David, could you tell us a bit more about Earth Dollar and the idea that it came from and what you want to solve with it?
The Earth Dollar came really by accident. It wasn't, I did not really plan it in my life or anything like that. In around 2010, I was holding a concert, and in that time, I met indigenous people, which we call Native Americans. Mm-hmm. And they were actually trying to protect the land from intrusions of logging companies coming up to clear cut their forest. They wanted to clear cut 97% of the forest, and I couldn't let that happen. Would destroy all the water and basically where they live. So I was helping them block the roads. You can imagine David there saying the truck is coming, and said, "There, I'm here."
Yeah.
So we helped them do blockades, and also I helped them with the court case. We brought the logging companies to court, to stop them. And the first court case we lost, but the second court case, I found a loophole to win. So that loophole helped was to recreate their traditional government, and also to reassert their sovereignty, and that helped win the court case. So that established a relationship, and the next thing they wanted to do was to create their own community currency that would work within the indigenous nations.
Yeah,
and
this was in Canada, is that correct?
That is correct. That was in between 2011 and 2013. We started exploring it.
Okay. And what part of Canada was this?
This was in Ontario, between Ontario and Quebec, the province of Ontario.
Okay.
East, okay. So indigenous nations are allowed to create their own currencies, right? So they wanted to have their own currency, like Canadian dollar or US dollar. Mm-hmm. So we started, but I didn't have any idea how to do it. And the idea came in a dream or a vision that I had for the Earth Dollar, because they wanted us to protect the land, but lift them out of poverty at the same time. Mm-hmm. When they first asked me about it, I said, there's no way I could do it. There's no idea like that on Earth. How are you going to protect the land and lift us out of poverty? Right. So after 3 different elders asked me about the same questions, after the third elder asked me, and she died, and during her funeral, the day of her funeral, I had a vision, a dream, that had a solution to this. So that's came the Earth Dollar.
Okay. Wow. That's kind of a crazy cool story, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, was really by accident, so that's how it came out,
Yeah. So that's 2000.